Hi, Kayan here, and I have a book order that I just received that I have been excited about, and I want to open up and look at with you. And they involve watercolor. And I had gotten these tubes on a recent trip of Luminous watercolor. I got a bright rose and a bright violet in the Luminous line by Holbein, and pretty happy with those. But what I especially wanted was this orange and the yellow, and then I decided to go ahead and get green also in the Luminous line of watercolors for these kind of neon-y fun colors. So I got those to complete this. They have more colors than this, but this will complete my set, I think. And then I also have been so anxious to try their new Granulating Watercolors, and so I got the set of 6 in the bird set. They have different sets like landscape, I think, floral, galaxy, something like that, a few different sets. But I got the bird set because the color I was most excited about was the flamingo orange. So I'll be opening those up and trying those out as well. So these I have been, well, both of these I will probably use that way, but I have been making myself sets of like monthly themed watercolors. My daughter got me this cute little tin, which I've been filling with watercolors, and the one I'm going to repeat is a white wash in here, and then I'm going to add to it these 5 watercolors, the Luminous watercolors for the month of May. And not that those are the only ones I use, but it's kind of fun to have these color schemes for each month, so I want to do that. Now, my problem is that I am out of empty watercolor pans, so I am going to do an alternative temporarily till I get more watercolor tins, and that is I'm going to use this eyeshadow tin, this empty eyeshadow tin that I got from Amazon. They're fairly inexpensive. They have 5 palettes here that fit in there. I'm not sure if these can be removed. I think maybe they're just stuck in there. Oh, no, they can. Yeah, they come out. And they also have like a little brush, little eyeshadow brush in there. So I thought, well, that could be a pretty fun little alternative for a travel themed or a easy to take along specific little Luminous watercolor set. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those to use and go from there. Now I'm not going to fill these all the way up because I know that I want to fill my other pans when I get them, but I do want to have them in a little palette while I'm trying them out. If I especially like using this, I may fill more later. I have 2 surfaces I want to try these out on, and this is my Life Noble notebook, which is not necessarily meant for water media, but I have used it for all kinds of water media experimentation, so I want to do a page in there. Those are indeed very bright colors. And the other book I want to give these a try in is my Strathmore Mixed Media paper. And let's see if I can find a blank page in here. This is, I traced the shadow of a flower that I want to kind of then make a stencil of, so for like the gel plate, but I have room here to try these watercolors on it as well. Love this orange. I think that's my favorite. So vibrant. It's almost like a highlighter type color, and I can see some fun applications for that. I'm guessing these are not super light fast, as most fluorescent type colors are, but I mainly use these in my sketchbook anyway, so I'm not a huge yellow person, but I can see this being a pretty fun color to use too. And the green I thought could be fun pops of highlight in like foliage or something, like just for some little extra fun in there. So that's those, very pretty. Okay, so now I want to see what kind of mixes I can make with these. This doesn't actually fold flat, so it's not the best for mixing. This is the green and orange together. Okay, so this is the green plus the orange. This is the violet and yellow, the rose and yellow, and the rose and the green. So I think of those, this is my favorite. So another thing I want to try is if I mix it with a granulating color like this Potter's Pink by Daniel Smith. It's very granulating. But not terribly intense or bright on its own. So, what happens if I try mixing the rose with it? I want to preserve the shadow shape, so I'm going to be kind of carefully painting around it, but there's lots of room to play here. Okay, I'm going to set this aside to dry for a minute and go on with my play. And this time the colors kind of brought to mind the Kuretake Granulating set, which I reviewed in a previous video a while back. And it's kind of fascinating color separating. And so I just kind of was curious what the rose might do mixed with this. As well as the violet. This is the violet, one of these colors. They come in 5 different colors. Let's see. Let's find. This is the orange. Let's try it too with the orange luminance. These are very kind of odd. The orange is actually like orange and a teal color. Maybe try a little bit of the I think maybe the one that's looking most interesting here is this yellow. Whenever I get new art supplies, I like to do a little bit of experimenting just to see what exactly they will do, how they will behave with other things that I already have. And that's very interesting, how they might play together. I do a lot of layering in my artwork, so I'm always curious how different supplies will layer together. Okay, I'm going to stick this in between here for now in case that's still a little wet. And find another page here to play on. Look what those do. Those blooms on there. So these are not super intense by themselves, but I think mixing them in with other illustrations like these little churches I did, having a little pop of the luminance in there, I think will be pretty fun to have. Like just put a little glow in with it. Like this orange. Look at that. What that adds in there. I'm really liking what that does with the granulating Kuretake. I have these Holbein line luminance pencils also in some similar colors, opera, green, orange, lemon, and red, which I don't have red in the paint and I don't have violet in the pencil, but otherwise they should correspond. So these compare. Pretty comparable. Now I want the violet in the pencil. And I, again, don't have the blue, which I think will go on a wish list also. It helps. Here's my white gouache. Yeah, love this color. Love that the pencils match so well. I wonder if I mix these two, if I would get something similar. That's better with the yellow first. Okay, that's the Luminous Watercolors. I think those will be fun. Okay, now I would like to try out the Holbein Granulating Watercolors, and I got the bird set. And it's a set of 6, and I can't remember how many different sets there were. 4 maybe? But it comes with 6 colors, and the colors are Parrot Pink, Peafowl Green, Flamingo Orange, Eurasian Jay Rose Gray, Japanese Bush Warbler Green, and Shoebill Blue Gray. So kind of interesting colors. I'm excited to be trying these out. These are 5 milliliter tubes. And let's get to swatching. Swatch them the lazy way by doing this. This is Parrot Works Parrot Pink. And this is Flamingo Orange. And we have Eurasian Jay Rose Gray. should be blue-gray. Japanese bush warbler green. And peafowl green. That is a beautiful color here, this parrot pink. And these are supposed to be granulating, so I want to give a big enough swatch here to be able to see. The flamingo orange. That's an interesting color. This is a little bit more what I expected the flamingo orange to be. Oh, look at this. This reminds me of Moonglow by Daniel Smith. The blue-gray, also gorgeous. I'm very happy with these colors. These are really beautiful. So now that I've tried these out, I've decided this will be my next month's color scheme. I do love the luminance and think it will be nice additions, but I think this could be a pretty standalone set, where these, for my style, would not be standalone, would be nice little touches to add in. Okay, here I am with all my new Holbein watercolors. I have 5 of the many luminous colors that are available, and I have been for a little while. These are new to me, however. And then the newly available on, at least on Blick Art Supply, the Holbein Granulating set. There's several sets. This is the bird set that I got, though. I have to say I have a few new favorite colors in these. With these, I would say the orange, yellow, and green are the main ones that bring something different to my palette. This is not terribly different from the opera pink I already used, and I already had a pretty similar violet as well, so I could have done without those. But these 3 are things, you know, they're not main players in my watercolor, but they will be fun little pops to add in. So I have put these 5 luminous watercolors in this eyeshadow, empty eyeshadow tin. Very inexpensive, but I have my luminous ones together in this little case. So I have those. But what I'm most excited about are these granulating. I did get my watercolor trays, pans in, so I've put these in my monthly selection. Rotates in and out of this cute little case that was a gift from a daughter from Barcelona. I love it, and it's just right to hold 6 little watercolors, and so I've been doing a monthly selection. Not that that's the only ones I use, but that I really kind of have a scheme going for the month, and I think these work really lovely together. I'm very excited about them, and I know that this parrot pink, the rose gray, and the peafowl green for sure will be making their way into my main palette of common use. I like these colors also, the other 3, but I'm especially excited about these 3. A previous favorite of mine was Tundra Violet and Moonglow, and while those are still nice, I like the lighter quality of this Eurasian Rose Gray, Eurasian J Rose Gray color. So I think it kind of like Shadow Violet, Tundra Violet, Moonglow, it's kind of all in a similar lineup with these that I also like, but I love how this granulates. Beautiful. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about playing with more mixes that I can achieve from this. Like this is just a lovely kind of gray-brown by mixing the flamingo orange and the blue-gray. This is the parrot pink and the warbler green. Lovely color to include in foliage. So I have my little tin of those. I've made my little palette card, which is still drying, and I'm very excited about using this for the month of May. So thanks for watching. Hope this review was helpful to you, and happy painting. See you next time.